George Washington was the first President of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. He was also a general during the American Revolution, leading the Continental Army to victory over the British. Washington is often referred to as the "father of his country," due to his role in establishing the United States as a democratic nation. He played a pivotal role in the drafting of the U.S. Constitution and helped to set many of the precedents that are still followed by U.S. presidents today, including the two-term limit. Washington is widely revered for his leadership, integrity, and commitment to democratic ideals. His legacy is celebrated in the United States through monuments, memorials, and the annual holiday of President's Day. George Washington was born on February 22, 1732, in Westmoreland County, Virginia. He became a prominent figure during the American Revolution, serving as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army from 1775 to 1783. His leadership was instrumental in securing American independence from British rule. Following the war, Washington was unanimously elected as the first President of the United States, serving 2 terms from 1789 to 1797. During his presidency, he oversaw the development of the federal government and the establishment of many of the precedents that are still followed by U.S. presidents today. He was deeply committed to democratic ideals, believing in the importance of individual freedom, the rule of law, and the need for a strong central government. Washington's legacy is celebrated throughout the United States through monuments and memorials, including the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. He is also commemorated through the holiday of President's Day, which is celebrated on the third Monday of February each year. While Washington is widely revered for his leadership and achievements, it is also important to note that he was a slave owner and that he held views that are considered problematic by modern standards. It is important to view his legacy in its entirety and to consider both his successes and his shortcomings. George Washington was born into a wealthy family in Virginia and inherited his family's plantation when his father died. He was a skilled surveyor and worked as a land surveyor for a time before entering politics. In 1754, he fought in the French and Indian War and gained valuable military experience. During the American Revolution, Washington became the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army and led the fight against the British. He faced numerous challenges during the war, including a lack of resources and support, but his leadership and determination helped to secure a victory for the American colonies. Following the war, Washington was deeply involved in the development of the federal government. He presided over the Constitutional Convention in 1787 and played a key role in the drafting of the U.S. Constitution. He was unanimously elected as the first President of the United States in 1789, and his leadership helped to establish many of the institutions and practices that still shape U.S. government today. Despite his many achievements, it is important to acknowledge that Washington was a slave owner and held views that are considered problematic by modern standards. He owned hundreds of slaves during his lifetime and did not support abolition. However, he did express concerns about the institution of slavery and made provisions for the gradual emancipation of his slaves in his will. Washington's legacy continues to be celebrated and studied in the United States and around the world. While his accomplishments are widely recognized, it is also important to recognize the complexities of his character and the challenges that he faced in his personal and political life.